Hey guys, I just pulled this sculpture from the kiln, and you can tell this is the terracotta sculpture that I usually use for sculpting, and I'm very surprised. I actually thought that this would break in the kiln, but it didn't. So you can see, this would be a very fragile point, but this goes to show you that with water-based clay, there's a lot you can do even for something that's quite delicate like this. Having a leg sticking up, I don't think people realize how heavy it is, but it fired. So remember, when you do terracotta sculptures like this, you do have to hollow it out. You could probably get away with sculpting something this size, and you can see my hand and relative to the sculpture. You can probably get away with not even hollowing it out, but I wanted to show you what underneath kind of looks like. So right over there, there's a hole, but the hole doesn't just kind of stop there. It goes into the torso. It goes into the torso, and I hollowed out like various points. Like I made a hole here, and then I made a hole here, I made a hole here, and I kind of connected the entire shape. You do this like when you don't have that much detail on the sculpture, but now this is pretty much ready for whatever you want to do. And previously, I kind of liked the look of the terracotta itself. So if that's something that you want, you could probably this is a very good, solid, long-lasting medium. These terracottas will outlive many new kind of processes. So, and you can even hear the noise. It's extremely durable. Now, you could, for example, just put a wax on it if you like, just a terracotta. One of the things I've been using is a medium that I bought. It was a little expensive, so let me show you what that is. This is what I bought. It's from Modern Masters. It comes as a kit. I think this might have been $80, so it's very expensive. And the reason I like using this is that this is actually like metal flake paint. You can go online, buy regular gold-like paint or bronze-like paint, and it doesn't really have the metal. What I like about this is that it actually has metal particles in there, and then this is a patina. So the interesting thing is that when you paint this over, you throw this, you just kind of spray it. It's like in the form of a spray, and you just let it stain. And basically this will tarnish just like a metal sculpture would. So that's the reason I like to use that. And this is pretty new for me. There are various things you can do to paint your sculpture. Many things you could use. This is something I got at Home Depot. This is probably the least cost expensive type of product that you can use. And Home Depot's got quite a bit of this. So this is like a gold. So a lot of times you think about staining these sculptures with layers. And what you do is this is your base layer, like a gold. And you can get like a silver. And then I have various types of paints. Like this is a green. This is a ultramarine blue. I mix it together to get like a type of patinaed look. I also have oil color. Sometimes I go with oil, but I prefer acrylic. For some reason, it dries fast. You can paint it inside the house, and I think it looks pretty darn decent. Start painting this. This is a very thick paint, and you have to kind of work fast as well. So here we go. We'll put this aside, and just look how thick, and it covers a lot of the surface, but I don't want to leave anything kind of standing out. And the one thing I found about painting sculptures is that you have to kind of get on your knees, look up, and get above the sculpture, because sometimes when I am doing this, I realize that I leave sections out. So it's something you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. And don't put it on too thick. Like normally, you don't want to create any more surfaces than the ones that you've sculpted. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cover this entire sculpture with one coat of this. The instructions for this sort of paint ask that you do 2 coats and apply the patina when it's still wet, which is a little bit difficult because it's wet. So let's go ahead. I'm like trying to work as fast as possible here. This is something that I've never really enjoyed until recently. You know, like figuring out different patina. So like now I'm having fun. Sometimes like the sculptures don't look great with a patina that I created, but it's kind of like a learning process. You just can't be too, you know, stuck on with the your painting of the sculptures. I just paint these and then move on to my next sculpture. Right now I'm working on a ape or a chimp holding a human skull. I'll post up a video pretty soon. I had to remove the skull and redo it and the hands because I've been using a JMac clay, and the JMac clay it's great. It's like one of the better oil-based clays you can get, but the problem is it's too soft. The one I got, it's too soft, and I should have gotten a harder one for smaller objects. Something like this, it helps to have something a little bit smaller. I do like the look of terracotta as well. You know, a lot of people, I think what I don't like about the look of terracotta is just the feel when you touch it. It's very abrasive, but when you add like a coat of this sort of paint, it's a lot better. By the way, it would help to have a bigger brush, but for some reason I like this one because I can get into the little crevices of the sculpture. You just kind of dab it like this and you get right in there, but make sure that the real cool thing is the metallic of this. So once I hit that patina, this thing is going to turn in a matter of like minutes a different color, which is really kind of cool. And you know, that's the reason I bought it. By the way, I bought this stuff from Amazon. You could probably get it directly from Modern Masters, but Amazon just seems to be the easiest. All right guys, now that I've put one coat, I'm going to add another coat because the patina has to go on when it's still wet. So I'm just going to do this really quick. This time I don't think I have to be as accurate in getting every single thing because this is just going to be a way of the patina getting onto the sculpture and not missing any potential. But you have to do it when it's wet. So the parts where I want to collect the patina a bit are going to be just a little bit fuller of this. So I'm trying to work fast and I want to make sure that I just get it really wet, and we're going to spray the patina on. I really like this this paint, but it's expensive and it's also heavy because you can tell that it's got the metal particles in there. So let's just get all of this in here. And it took a while just to get the paint on here because you have to kind of look around, up and down, just to make sure that all the patina, all the surface is covered, because it is going to take a whole different style now. So I'm going to just add a little bit more to the legs. I like this interest here a little bit more, so I'm just going to add a little bit more to the face. I'm just going to this is a mild acid, so don't get it on yourself. But this should start working almost right away. So, and it's going to be running down kind of like what rain does. Just get a little bit more here. And I think we're good. So this is going to be turning color pretty soon, hopefully. So let it stay for about 2 hours and then come back to it, and you should be able to tell the difference. I'm already seeing some color variation. There's going to be some greens and blues kind of right over there where there's like the running. Sometimes I'm not really sure I like the runniness of it, so you might want to wipe that down before it hardens. But I think it should be fairly cool to do. So look at that. You see that? If it's running, you just patina it a bit. So this is what it looks like with the patina. You can tell where some of the runniness kind of went down and where it collects. So this kind of mimics the way a sculpture would be on the outside, with the weather kind of like weathering it out and rain kind of falling off. You know, it's perhaps not exactly what some people like, but the other process after this is just to put a wax on top. But if you don't like the patina, if it's too bright for you, what you can do is just follow it up with a very simple shoe polish, something like this, because it has wax in it. You can just take it and kind of buff it in, because sometimes the patina could be a little bit distracting, especially on the face. So you might just want to take a little bit of a shoe polish like this and just kind of like buff it everywhere. So for this, you know, I can just take a little bit of this and I'll just start putting it on the sculpture where I don't want this to be too prominent, and just kind of like buffing it down a bit. Even though it gets dark in the beginning, it tends to get just a little bit lighter as it dries. So remember, there's wax in here, so it will come back, the patina, but not as intense. So I kind of like this because there's some parts that I just kind of feel it's just a little bit too much for the patina. So I'll just kind of take this, and this will buff it out too. You can make a very shiny kind of finish if that's what you like. But where the patina is kind of collecting a bit, I like to kind of knock it down a bit. Yeah, especially here on the leg. It actually looks like I've missed this entire leg here with the patina. So I might have to do something with that. Just a little bit of a touch-up. That's all you need. You don't have to go completely out on it. So now just using this, you can do this to kind of buff it and just create a little bit of a shine to your sculpture. The shoe polish has a really nice wax in it. So as you're rubbing, it looks like the patina is going away, but it does come back because of the wax of this. It just tends to create a little bit of a shiny coat, which I like. So you know, I might do this going back and forth several times with this and try to create some version of this that's a little bit more interesting. And with the wax, it works fairly well. So that's just the rudimentary finish on a patina. I really like this Mother Master's compound that they have, but it is a little expensive, and I think if I was to buy something, I probably would just buy it for smaller sculptures like this. But if you have a lot more to cover, I would go with traditional acrylic paint and maybe some metallic paints from like Home Depot to start and just layer it. This one, it just kind of covers a lot of it in very easily, and it gives you a nice finish. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.